Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Catching Up. And this is a new comedy, drama, however you would like to categorize this, also throw in some romance, about a young man who is romantically inexperienced and has muscular dystrophy and struggles with the love that he has for an able-bodied woman. And this is from writer, director, and star Bill Crossland, who actually has muscular dystrophy, wrote this screenplay drawing upon his own experiences and telling this very heartwarming and tender story. And you throw in a few others, so like Francesca Carpanini plays Lorraine, who is the girl that he has this relationship with already because he's pretending to be her boyfriend because she's gay and can't come out to her parents. You have Isabella Piscacane, who plays Judy Flanagan, aka this other teacher from our main character Frank's past, who he has feelings for. And then you have Sam Daly, who plays Brad Hamilton, his co-worker, who's kind of a sleazy guy, but he has a bit of a heart of gold deep inside and really cares about Frank and wants him to, put himself out there to try to connect with Judy. And then you have the cast of who plays Frank's family, and then the cast that plays Lorraine's family, and then throw in Jonathan Fernandez, who plays Woods, who comes along throughout the film and becomes a caretaker for Frank. But for the most part, this film has a very fun tone. There are definitely moments where things get a little darker and a little more serious. I was really happy that it didn't go too dark, because this film never really earned that kind of darkness, but at least it gives some bite to some particular moments and gives us a little bit of drama that it needs to balance out the silliness, because there's some real heartwarming, heart-wrenching, and important themes that this film takes on. And you have Frank, who's a strong central character. I really enjoyed him. He has layers of complexities. He's also really funny. He has a great dialogue, and Crossland obviously wrote some great dialogue for himself here, but he really embodies it, and you have a really endearing relationship with his family. The two dads of Frank and Lorraine in this film are very much dads. They say very dad things, and you like them for it. And then the actress who plays Frank's mom is very endearing as well. She has a nice presence in the film, has a nice relationship with Frank. His sister, teenage girl, they have their issues. And Frank works at his old high school. He's a teacher. He teaches English, and he has all of the school drama like a young man who also has a physical disability is in his class, who acts out and causes issues. You have a lot of different moving parts because you also have Lorraine starting to fall for this woman who comes into her life. And all of these different moving pieces all feel like they get a decent amount of attention and have some growth to them. And I appreciated that about this screenplay. And all of the performances in here, for the most part, feel pretty earned and earnest. And I really enjoyed both Francesca Carpanini and Isabella Piscacane, who play his fake girlfriend and the woman he hopes to be his girlfriend, and they're very charismatic. They're good characters. Like, Judy might be a little bit too much like the pixie dream girl kind of thing, where she seems absolutely perfect, but she says she's not perfect, but you don't really see a whole lot of those flaws in the film. But the performance that Piscacane gives is very endearing and works. But really, it's Lorraine and Frank who are the most interesting characters in this film, and you really appreciate their relationship. There's one particular place their relationship goes in this film that I'm still trying to process how I feel about it. I think it'll be very divisive among audiences really processing that step. But as the film went on into its third act, it started to really hit me emotionally. it really captured my attention, and at that point I was still bought in enough where it didn't completely take me out of the film. But there's definitely emotional moments. It's an endearing story. They have some solid comedic gags throughout the film that work. Woods is a fun addition to the film, and he's very, very confident with the ladies and kind of takes Frank under his wing a little bit. There is a particular moment going to a strip club that I feel like one of the more tragic moments of the film that really captures the struggle that Frank has with connecting with people. And there's definitely moments in the film, like he goes on a date with a woman who has muscular dystrophy, and they get into a bit of a confrontation where the film kind of lays out some of its themes and its ideas, and that was a hard scene to watch because how that scene went about going in terms of where it leaves Frank, in terms of where he is in processing all these things. But in general, I feel like this film presents some intriguing ideas, even though some of those moments might be a little bit on the nose in terms of the screenplay because it's very set up to be these conversations for those reasons, but they still feel earnest in the way that they're presenting them and that these themes are important. And it gives a fresh perspective from those who have these physical disabilities and not having somebody trying to speak for them. And I appreciated that. There's one particular moment that felt a little bit melodramatic towards the third act of this film, but it was still poignant enough in the story and how it fit and how important it was that it still hit emotionally. And the film avoided getting too dark, but just enough darkness in here to make it feel real and tangible and meaningful. And by the end of this film, I appreciated where all the characters wound up and the journey that Frank went on of discovering a lot of things about himself. And I'm so glad that I got to check out Catching Up and be a part of that journey and really take it in, because I really loved this film. It definitely has its flaws, but for me, most of the things work really, really well. I was very engaged. I laughed, got a little teary-eyed. But throughout this film, I definitely felt connected to Frank and his journey, and I'm really glad that Bill Crossland felt comfortable enough portraying his experiences, bringing it to the big screen, and being a part of it, because I enjoyed this film so much. So I'm glad that I got a chance to check it out. But those are my thoughts on Catching Up. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.